I'm going to be doing a tutorial today as the title suggests. I'm going to be using the Morphe Such a Gem palette. It's the 39 pan palette. It's the 39S palette. And I could not be more excited. I looked at this morning. I've had this for months. And I looked at it this morning and I thought, I don't know why I haven't touched this sooner. It's beautiful. So we're going to take a look at it now. I'm sure you have all seen it many, many times before. It's just gorgeous. Like everything about this palette, it's just stunning. There are so many different textures and finishes and tones, and it's so beautiful. There's nude colors in here, there's creams, there's pinks, there's reds, there's raspberries, there's grays, taupes. Like it's beautiful. I really want to play today. I want to try doing something a little crazy, a little different. I usually try and do really colorful and fun makeup, but I really want to like explore an excessive look kind of. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can tell, I have taped the name sheet on the top part because the names are not printed on the palettes, which I really wish they were, because then I could just like show you that part, but I will have to try and figure out what they're called. So I think I'm going to start with this dark one called Plums Up, and then I'm going to go into Berry Good. So I'm going to start with this shade right here, which is Plums Up, and then this one here, which is called Berry Good. So these two here, I'm going to start with a really nice crease area with this, and then blend it out a little bit with that. The primer that I'm using today is the Milani, what is it called? It's a new one that I'm using actually. I just started using it. It's a Milani eyeshadow primer. It says lightweight invisible finish, works on all skin tones. So it is a dupe for the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. So I really want to blow it out this way. I do have quite a long brow. The edge of my eye ends here and the brow goes out quite a bit. So I want to elongate my eye. So I'm just going to pull that shape out a bit more. I've decided to pull you guys in just a little bit more so you can kind of see a little bit more of the detail of what I'm doing. I definitely enjoy this color. It's sort of placed right now just for placement purposes. I will go back over the shades and blend a little bit more as I'm using the eyeshadow. It's a little messy right now, but we will clean that up a little bit. So what I want to do is go in with the Berry Good shade next, and I think I'm going to stick with the same brush, which is the R35 brush from Morphe, but I'm only going to apply it to the side area, and I'm just going to, actually I'll try this side first. I'm just going to blend that right on the top part. I want to create that curvature shape, but I just want to blend out that starting point first. And I want to go as high up to the brow bone as I can, because up there I want to put a nice shiny shimmery color. But right now I just want to blend and merge these two absolutely stunning shades together. I'm going to pull this out ever so slightly, just dragging it out. So I think what I want to do now is take a pencil brush. This is the M138 from Morphe. It's just a really small pencil brush. And I think I'm going to go in with a really dark color, which is called Rocks On. Unfortunately, it does have glitter to it, so you can see it's very shimmery. I'm hoping it won't translate to the lid. Let's see how it swatches. So the swatch does pick up quite a bit of shimmer particle, and I really didn't want that, but I want to work with just the palette. So I'm going to take a little bit of that, tap it off on a Kleenex, and I'm going to bring that right to the base where I want to lift and sort of deepen and give some depth to the bottom part of the eyeshadow. So I want it to be that when I keep my eye open, you can still see the crease very, very well. Even when I have sort of like a rest, you can see there that you can still see that cut. So once I cut that crease and I clean that all up and I have my eye resting, you're still going to see that crease really well. So now what I want to do is blend that out a bit. So I'm going to go back in with Plums Up, and I'm just going to slowly apply that right over top of the darker shade. In fact, I'm going to use the same brush, the little pencil brush, and I'm just going to go in and start focusing that color and blending it upward, because I do want this to look really, really blended. And then I think I'm going to go back in a little bit with Plums Up again with the other brush, and just apply that right over top of where I was applying with the smaller brush. And then I'm going to wipe that off and go back in with Very Good, which is the lightest shade, and hit that again. I just want this to really, really blend. And I feel like this brush is just a hint too large for my purpose here, but you can really see the difference between this eye and this eye. It's still very choppy and just has placement, where this one is starting to take shape and start to be blended. So before I'm like cutting the crease, I want to actually apply a little bit of product up by the brow and get that completed first. I kind of wanted to use one of the really like fun sparkle shades on like underneath my eye, like one of the ones from the center. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about first. So they have these like center shades right here, which is pretty nice. I really think they're gorgeous, and I want to use one. I'm going to use one of them, I think. I'm just not really sure. I'm swatching a couple of these right now. There's a really beautiful like gold one. There's a really beautiful like lavender one, and I kind of want to stick with the whole lavender and pink theme. But there's also this straight up like creamy silver, or not creamy silver, but like, maybe is it silver? It's almost like a creamy platinum gold, and it's just light, but I really want to use maybe this pink one. I'm like really struggling with what I want to use. There's this really pretty pink one. I think I'm going to use that. That's got a lot of sparkle. So what I think I want to do first is take the shade Pink Prize, which is this one right here. And it's just a very nice soft pink. I'm going to put Pink Prize just right underneath my brow bone area. because it's a very small space. But I definitely want a pink color underneath the pink shimmery sparkly shade that I want to use, and I think that will blend out really, really nicely. So far it's perfect. It's exactly what I would have wanted under the brow area. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Oh Yes. This is like OH space YASSS, and that is the beautiful pink shade like right here. I'm going to place that over top of the pink area in the brow bone, then we're going to blend that part out. I just want to add a little bit of pizzazz and fun. Really want to add some like sparkle and shine and fun. So now what I think I'm going to do is take the pencil brush again, and I'm just going to go in with the Berry Good shade, which is that pink shade. And I'm just going to lightly place that over top, sort of blending that in together because I don't want to add too much color. But I still want the Berry Good shade, like it's almost like a raspberry shade, and I want it to peek through. Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm going to go a little bit more on this side because I feel like it's just a little too soft. But this is exactly what I'm going for. So now we're going to cut the crease, and then we'll do the rest of the eye. I actually use Vaseline. And I'm going to take a Q-tip and just use some of the Vaseline. I'm just going to lightly coat the tip, and now we're going to cut it. So I will time lapse this for you guys. All right, so we are going to start underneath the eye, or underneath the crease now, and I want to start off with just a really nice like camel-y kind of shade, and it's called Super Swanky, and it's this really pretty shade right here, that one. And then I'm going to keep everything really, really warm, so I've chosen to use like these kind of shades here as well, and then I'll deepen them up with some shades, but I will of course tell you what I'm using. So first I'm going to use the MAC 239 in Super Swanky, and I want to put that all over the inner portion of my eye. It's just a really beautiful matte camel-y, almost peachy shade. Has quite a bit of warmth to the undertone of this brown. So what I'm going to do now is start focusing on the outer portion of the eye and like blending it in with the little area of wing out here, or crease out here. And I want to start with a deeper red shade, which is called Wine Not, which is right here. And of course I will be using this shade again, just like I did deepening up that crease, I will be deepening up that shade with that color as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Sedona Lace 407 brush, which is just sort of like a little angled brush. I'm just going to apply that by pressing it down on the outer portion, and I want to bring it up. I will clean that outer portion, so I'm not too worried about how that looks at the moment, but I want to bring it up a little bit and then bring it in a little bit. I absolutely love this eyeshadow shade. It's beautiful. It reminds me of the red shade in the Makeup a Murder Partners in Crime palette. It's so pretty. Then I'm going to take the pencil brush and I'm going to use the same shade, and I just want to get right close to that crease. I'm going to go ahead and use the same brush and just a little bit of Rocks On, which is that black shade with the sparkles in it. And I'm just going to throw that in the outer portion just to deepen up the crease. And I'm kind of being messy because I will clean this up a little bit later with makeup remover. So I don't need it to be super precise off the top. And I'm not going all the way up to that other shade because I want the red to really shine through at the crease. But I do want those colors to blend, so I will be going back and forth with the shades and blending those out. I think I like how these are looking right now, and what I'm going to do now is go ahead and put the center shade on. So we already have the Camely Peach shade in the inner portion of the eye, and now I want to put something in the center, and I'm really excited about this look. It is definitely shades that I love and shades that I am excited about, so I'm really loving this palette so far. I love the berry shades. I love the jewel toned reds. I love that there's shimmers and mattes. It's a very, very nice palette so far. What I think I might go in with is the shimmery shade from the center, like the center row that has those jelly formula shades, and this one's called Strike a Pose, and it looks like this, but I'm not certain how it will show up, if I may have to put a shade underneath it, because I think these are like topper shades and they're kind of creamy. So what I think I might do is put the shade Ritzy Rose underneath it, which looks kind of like this. It's really, really hard to see because it's very high shine. So it's right here on my hand, which really looks very different than all the mess that I have going on my finger. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down Ritzy Rose first on the center portion of my lid, which is actually really, really a beautiful shade. And I have never actually seen this shade this pretty, to be completely honest. I really like it a lot. It's gorgeous. It isn't very impactful, so I'm glad that I will be putting the other shade over top of it, but it's definitely a very stunning and beautiful peachy shade. Sort of like a peachy rose shade. And I just want to pull it now into the red and then wipe off and get some more, and then again pull it back into that red. I don't want to blend too much yet. I just want to pull ever so slightly because I do have textured lids, and I do want to blend now, but it's really hard when you have like excess skin or textured skin on your lids to make a really good blend because the skin is shifting. So I like to place first, and then I go in with a blending brush just a little bit with a little bit of product, and I pounce it off onto the shade that I'm trying to combine it with in hopes that it blends nicely. If you have nice taut skin, that's great. I'm very jealous, to be completely honest, but I just want these shades to blend in nicely together. And I'm really liking this so far. And so now I'm going to take that and just go right over the whole center portion. And I love how that looks. So I've really pulled you guys in because before I go ahead and do all that other stuff, I want to lay down that other color first. And I was considering, I'm going to use my finger first, but I'm considering using glitter base. So we'll see what it looks like first, just using my finger. So this one is called Strike a Pose. And it actually looks exactly what I want it to look like just with my finger. So I won't be using a glitter base, but you can just see a really nice shine on the center of the lid. And that's exactly what I wanted this to do without being too much. So I think if I used a base, it just would have been more than I wanted it to be. And I'm really liking the way that it's turned out. And I think it'll look even better with everything else. Like my lashes and my liner. I think it's just going to pull together so nicely. Alright you guys, so my face makeup is done, my lashes and liner is on. I went with a very minimalistic liner, just very small to deepen the lash line. And then I added the Ardell double 113s, I think they are. I really like these eyelashes. I do wish that they were just a little bit shorter in the inner part and more fanned out at the end, but I'm really liking the way that these lashes look. So I think what I'm going to do now is just apply some eyeshadow underneath my eye. Normally I don't. This is how I look because I feel like it snatches my eyes like upwards. But I want to make sure that I'm using as much of the eyeshadow palette as I can and completing the look as most people would wear, because a lot of people wear eyeshadow underneath their eyes, even though I don't. So I'm going to pull you in and we're going to go ahead and get started with underneath the eyes. So basically I'm going to take a short shader brush, which is the Morphe M408. I told you I have like a ton of Morphe brushes. And I'm going to go in with the darkest eyeshadow, which is that black with the sparkle. It's called Rocks On. And I'm just going to drag this lightly in the outer portion of the eye. I don't want to get any sparkles in my eye, so I'm going to be really careful. I'm going to zoom out just a hint because I see that it's focusing a lot. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is take the color Plums Up, which is the very first shade we used, and same brush, and I'm just going to go over that and start pulling it toward the inner portion of the eye. So I'm not going to be doing too much with the bottom. I think I'm going to do that and then just blend it out a little bit with my short shader or my short pencil brush. I call it short because it's really tiny, like it's so small. And then I'm going to use, I don't even know, I think I'm going to use the camel shade mixed in with that light pink shade that we used before. Like I'm using all the shades that I've used before, and I'm just going to blend that lightly underneath the eye, just across both colors, or all three colors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Plums Up shade and I'm going to put that right over the black in the outer corner, just a lot more, because the black was starting to look a little dusty. And again, just use those same two shades, dust it off, and then blend this out. I notice on this side I have a little bit of a line, so I'm just going to take my concealer brush and go over that just a little. I'm not sure if that would even help, but with my skin being a little more loose as I age, I'm finding that I have to sort of tug a bit at the skin, and I hate doing that, but that's what I had to do. So now I'm going to do my bottom lashes, and I'm going to use the roller lash from Benefit. I love this. It's my very favorite mascara to use ever. This is the finished look. I'm really excited about it. I do want to do one more thing and just add a tiny bit of an inner corner. I was looking at it thinking like I didn't want to do that today, but just looking at the way that the eye shape is, I feel like it's just missing a hint of something in there. So I think I'm going to do that now, and then it'll be like completely finished. But as I'm like doing this, I do want to mention just how wonderful and cute I think this palette is. It's really, really pretty. I definitely feel like I'm comfortable using this. It's really nice formulas, easy to use. Basically what I'm doing now is I'm just going to spray my pencil brush with the MAC Fix Plus, and I'm using the pencil brush Morphe M455. I'm just going to Perfection, which is a really, you can see it just like glowing on the edge of the brush. It's just a really pretty like pearl kind of golden shift sparkly shimmer shade, and by sparkly I just mean like glimmery sparkly. So I'm just going to press that into my inner corner and make it just a little buffed out. As you can see, it just glows on the skin, and I think that's sort of what I was missing there. I really like this. I'm so pleased with the way that the eyeshadow looks, the way that it blended, the way that it cut with the Vaseline. I thought that was going to happen anyways, but it all performed really well. I do think I want to practice this look a lot more, not this particular color. I do love it, and I will be using these shades a lot more often, but what I want to do is perfect sort of more of the cut crease look. And I'm really excited about the way that this turned out. So I will go and take some pictures and post on my Instagram. If you guys want to check there, I'll have the details down below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys do hit that like button because it does really help me out. Please feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. I do love chatting with everyone who leaves me a comment below. And this is the palette one more time if you're interested in it. I believe it's still on the Sephora website, and I'm sure the Morphe website has it, but it is $39 and such a gem. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys again very soon. Bye!